You are now listening to Mr. Z Blackneffect.
What's going on, y'all? What's going on? What's going on? My apologies for the tardiness. Okay, Z, you didn't put a title down. We don't know what you're covering. What type of stream is this? There's no links, no nothing. Well, I struggled a little bit to. Oh, how did Mr. Z not do his intro? Like, share, subscribe, hit the super chat on the way in. Shout out to the replay gang. Thank you button and hype button, please, and thank you. We are up to, it looks like we're up to 23 members, but I didn't, the number 23 didn't register yet. Because I saw 22 and then I remember somebody became a member yesterday, so I'm just waiting for that to register, and then it looks like we're at 23. Yay. Okay, two more people, two more. Okay, continuing. I struggled to come up with a title for this stream because Mr. Z, believe it or not, there's a line of clickbait that I don't want to pass. I don't want to turn this channel into one of those channels. Do I want to get some attention? Of course, Mr. Z is a content creator. How far am I willing to go for views and for attention and for a couple of dollars? That is the question, right? Now, what I'm probably going to name this is Till the Last Egg, which is somewhat provocative, but not as mean as we can be. And it isn't as insulting, but it is speaking to what is actually happening here, right? And we're going to paint a bit of a picture. This might go on the list of potential part twos. Mr. Z has a insane and increasingly insane, large and increasingly growing list of streams that are deserving of a part two or deserving of better production. We are going to put that in the pile over there with the other pile of growing potential part twos, or at least this might be the rough draft. We might come up with a cleaner copy later. That also has its own pile over there in the corner next to the other pile of potential part twos, right? And To the Last Egg. And for those of you that are wondering what we're speaking about, we're going to start this off with Ashley Dalton. And Ashley Dalton is going to, and shout out to Ashley Dalton. This is the one time when we agree with her. She's going to sound like she's going to be speaking about something that sounds like it's not talking about what we're talking about, but it's kind of setting the foundation and the ground for what we're speaking about here, which once again is Till the Last Egg. I actually should have covered Dr. Marcia Inhorn also. That might be in the part two. Yeah, we might. Yeah. That's definitely deserving of a part two, where Dr. Marcia Inhorn, I think she called it Motherhood on Ice, where she spoke about women, particularly like more upwardly mobile, aspiring women, namely not Black women, funny enough, mainly, if I remember correctly, at least her first interview that I remember watching, Asian, Jewish, white, upper class, or upwardly mobile, at least, women who found themselves in this weird position because they still want to practice hypergamy. And this is, by the way, this is not Mr. Z speculation. This is what Dr. Marcia Inhorn was speaking on, which is women still want to practice hypergamy, but these women find their dating prospects lacking because they're doing pretty well and they want to at least take men seriously. We're not just talking about bedroom fun here. They want to take men seriously who are on their quote unquote level or above. Well, what happens when you are a $150,000, $200,000, $250,000 a year woman, right? Do you appreciate how rare you are? And do you appreciate that the men in your same income bracket, your same tax bracket, have their pick of the litter? They're, so that puts these women in a very disadvantageous, unenviable position, we can say. And so I guess we'll do that as a part two or a more clean draft of what we're covering now. And so let's get underway with the Ashley Dalton clip. Fair use, fair use, fair use, fair use. And let's continue with this clip from Ashley Dalton.
We're going to keep it real moving forward on this platform. We're not going to use flowery language moving forward anymore. If you coming up here telling me, I want provider, I want rich man, I want the men of all men. He has Spartan, I want him. We're not going to play delusional and come up here and say a little bit of lip gloss, a little bit of brows. I don't got to lose no weight. I don't have to do this. I can wear Crocs. My friend wore Crocs and a bonnet and sweatpants, and that was enough. We're not going to tell those lies anymore. Because when I go outside and I see you, that's not enough. When I go outside and I'm standing in front of you, it's easy to do that here online. When the camera's like this and the angle is good. And we got a little bit of filter on because I do too now, child. It's different. We all confident right here. But when we get off this phone and we're face to face, body to body, next to the person you say you want and deserve, man or woman, the math is not mathing. There's a lot we need to work on. And it extends far beyond looks, babe. This goes to the men and the women. I'm not just talking to my ladies. There's a lot of work that needs to be done. So all that flowery language that we have come up with over the last decade, inclusive, all-encompassing, all the girls, I don't know that. Growing up, and the reason I'm tough on you guys is because that's the era I grew up in. People were tough. They said it how it is. I'm not saying that was always right, but we got a lot further in life because of it. No one was lying to us. And that's the issue today. You're being lied to, and then when you step outside the door, guess what happens? I just landed in Miami. At the door, they ain't let me in. I'm sitting at the bar. No men are approaching me. Reality hits you, is what I'm saying. You're too black. You're not white enough. You're too white. You're too Spanish. You got a wig on. You got makeup on. You're too old. You're too short. The world is going to tell you. And a lot of you are not self-aware. You're not self-aware. It's like you're blind to who you are. So I think some of your homework needs to be, you know what? I need to go in the mirror and be completely honest with myself. Who am I? Where do I measure up in the world? Am I doing everything that I need to do? Am I on top of my goals? How can I improve my look? Am I a good friend, a good mother, a good wife, a good husband, a good girlfriend, a good boyfriend, a good single person? What are the things that I need to work on that I'm not working on? And I'm hiding behind excuses, food, sex, drugs, alcohol, social media. I'm just hiding. So you need to get honest with yourself. We're going into a new season, and this is the perfect season to all my ladies to get out there. All this level up content you've been watching from September until April, it's time to apply it. Because when we post, everybody say, oh, I'm that girl, I'm this. It's time to get out the house and put the phones down. You know everything there is to know about leveling up. You know everything there is to know. It's time to get out the house and apply the information.
And shout out to Ashley Dalton. We don't always agree with her, but here, Ashley, first, let's call a thing a thing. Ashley, you were talking to the ladies. I saw you try to say, yeah, I'm not only talking to the ladies and the men too. Stop it. Because that last about 45 seconds, you straight went in on the ladies, rightfully so. See, when the ladies are still young, it don't matter if they're rotund. Ooh, goddamn, Mr. Z Ryman. Because somebody gonna want to pipe. Huh? Even some elite men might pipe. Uh-oh. Even some men doing okay in life, doing a little bit better than okay, because it's easy. The women gonna throw themselves at those dudes for the off chance that he take her seriously and elevate her. So yeah, if it's easy, even if he's not so interested, it's not gonna be long term. That's a little situationship for about 6-9 months. Huh? Until she get her heart broken because reality hit and he ain't taking her seriously. Yeah. Huh? Ashley, when the women are young, and because men are walking around with our peen in our hand, you want some, you want some, you want some, you want some, you don't want it. Look, I'm giving it away for free. The women get to lie to themselves. Other women lie to them. The media lies to them. The entire society lies to the ladies. In the comments for this video is a lady that said she had to have a real conversation with her parents, and she was 5'2", 200 pounds. She lost 50 pounds. Congratulations. Her parents had to pretty much break her and be honest, and she said it hurt her. Yeah. What are we supposed to believe, that she wasn't having bedroom fun before her parents had that conversation with her? Let's be honest. No, when the women are young and bubbly and they're still somewhat enthusiastic, even though they still sassy assholes, the men gon' pipe. The white men gon' pipe. The Latino men gon' pipe. The black men gon' pipe. Maybe even the Asian men gon' pipe. Huh? The men are gonna flirt. So the women get to bask and stew in their delusions. Or the women are like, yeah, girl, I don't know what these other men talking about. Then these women calling into you, Ashley, they're calling into Kevin Samuels, rest in peace. They're calling into Kendra G. Huh? They're on Tonight's Conversations and all of that. Huh? They're on Pop the Balloon. full of delusion, looking for the six-figure millionaire, billionaire man who's going to take them just how they are because they are the table. Ain't that right, Leslie Jones? Because they are the table. They don't need no work on them. 250. Huh? Crap attitude. Not a go-getter, but they think they qualify for Mr. $250,000 man. And everything in this society tells them they do. Who don't tell them who tells them different? Rest in peace, who? Kevin Samuels? Who? When Kendra G looks at them like, okay, girl, who tells them different? She spent her entire 20 some odd years, 30 some odd years with everyone lying to her, including the men that were piping. Maybe one or two guys when they're walking out the door will tell her the truth because they got in an argument. Who's telling her the truth? She's been lied to for 30 some odd years of her life. Huh? Men still wanted to pipe. How often those ladies called into Kevin and they saw the one outlier woman, the one overweight woman with the fit dude. And he's not a bum. He's not poor. He's not just slanging and he's living off of her. The one situation they know like that, the two, and they based all of their hope and their delusions off of those two women they know who are overweight with fit ass men living a pretty comfortable life. They based all of their hopes and aspirations and dreams off of the one highly accomplished man with a mediocre looking wife. Huh? They based all of their hopes and aspirations on the young Miamis of the world. Well, she was with Diddy. Diddy had a stranger, you know. Huh? Yeah. Miss Dalton, the ladies are lied to by the entire society, by most men, by the media, by the politicians, by their mothers and other women, by other women their age. Who telling the women the truth? You got a crap attitude, you overweight, huh? Your education ain't gonna make up for it. Who's gonna tell them the truth? Who's telling them the truth? Who? The ladies not gonna listen to the men. Women don't start telling women the truth until y'all damn near 50, 60 something. Then that's when y'all want to tell the 20 something year olds, hey girl, I wouldn't do that. And that's only for a handful of you if you're not super bitter. If you super bitter, y'all decide to take the younger women down to hell with you. Girl, go live your life. Go jump on the carousel just like the men. The men have their experiences. Go have your experiences. Go travel. Go live your life. Go do this, that. Who tell the women the truth? Who tell the young women, hey, look, I'm telling you, I was just like you. Who tells them the truth? I'm telling you, it ain't gonna look good. I'm telling you. Who says that to them? From about the youngest boomers down, especially the Xers down, which one of y'all telling the women the truth? Y'all don't tell the women the truth until you become you. And even then, y'all still sprinkling soft crap. Whether it's you, Ashley Dalton, whether it's Kendra G, whether it's what's homegirl name again? Rebecca Lynn Pope. What's the other matchmaker name? That's slipping my mind right now. It's not until y'all deal with hundreds, if not thousands of women, do y'all finally get frustrated and like, okay, ladies, okay, y'all are delusional. Y'all worse than the men. Y'all are delusional. This is not gonna work. But until then, y'all encourage the women to be as absolutely delusional and wreck their lives. And when you scale that, they wreck in society. Birth rate, crap. Marriage rate, crap. Divorce rate, crap, because you got to get married to get divorced. And so it's only the elites getting married nowadays. Upper middle class and above. Huh? Z, what does this have to do with until the last egg? This is the ladies. This is the ladies when they're young. When they're under the age of 40, this is them. Until the last egg. Until they holding out hope. They gonna go travel. They gonna get piped on. See, this is not our mother's generation where they walking into their early 20s trying to get married and have children. Oh no, this is not even some of the older Xers who said, you know what, I'm gonna go get my college degree. I ain't trying to really have the baby until I'm about 25, 26. No, you dealing with millennials and Gen Z. They said I'm gonna wait until I'm damn near 43, 50. Huh? I'm gonna wait until the second before menopause to try to drop a baby. And whatever health concerns, science will fix it. Yeah, that's it. Huh? And Ashley, many women your age, black women your age, encourage the ladies because they want to spite men. We're talking about 40 and 50 something year olds, 60 something year olds, gender warring with men. So they decide to salt the earth by encouraging young women to wait until the last egg, if even have kids at all. Ooh. If even get married at all. Just find a paymaster man who y'all got a little situationship or y'all have a little agreement where he pay your way through life and all you got to do is offer him some pussy every once in a while. Mr. Z said the word, goddamn. Like, share, subscribe, hit the super chat. Whoever gonna use this clip, you can blink that out. All you got to do is offer him some vagina every once in a while. There we go. We fixed it. Not really. Huh? Yeah. Huh? So because the ladies are waiting till the last egg, they only having one child. Plus, and let's be fair to the ladies, the economic environment is messed up. It is expensive. And quite frankly, people want their children to compete. They want their children to be upwardly mobile also. And if we can't do that for our kids, then what's the point of having kids? I'm going to just live a life of luxury. And maybe I don't earn really good money, but I'm going to make this 50 grand stretch. I'm going to enjoy this 50 grand. I'm going to enjoy this 60,000. I'm going to enjoy this 48,000, this 65,000. I'm going to make this $65,000 stretch. I'm going on trips. Huh? I'm going to buy nice stuff. I'm going to have my experiences. Huh? So for those of you that are wondering why the Ashley Dalton clip with this, well, I don't have the title up, with this particular topic, I'm explaining it to you. Actually, the women can afford to be delusional because the men allow for the women to be delusional. Huh? What does this say, everyone? Women in their 20s may not be having babies, but by 45, most probably will. Ooh, goddamn. And this is the CDC, everyone. This is the CDC. This is not some random data. Huh? Mr. Z's not just pulling this out of nowhere. By 45, they probably will. So you mean they're going to start what, in their mid-late 30s? They're late 30s. So essentially, borderline knocking on menopause. They're going to have those experiences. They're going to wait. They're going to try to hold out for the rich man. And when they realize you qualify for average because you're average and there's nothing wrong with that, when they realize that, God damn it, I let the elite dude pipe. I let the super good looking dude pipe and he didn't stay. When they realize that, God damn it, I'm going to have to end it with basic Tyrone. I do want kids, though. I do want the life. See, I wish I did have one kid. Okay, fine. By the way, they still go to divorce dude within 5 years. That's if they even marry. Let's be clear. I foresee a lowering birth rate, but within that lowering birth rate, an increasing child out of wedlock rate. Wait a minute, Z, that's already happening. Good point. Good point. Huh? Yeah, because the lady said ain't no point in getting married if he ain't gonna buy me. You can let the lady dear for all the technocrats. Y'all can let the ladies use all that emotionally intelligent and college educated and likable language all they want. Crap. Nah, look at the numbers. It's the money. It's the money and the education and the status. Cut it out. Y'all just don't want to call women for the little shrewd, business-minded, hypergamy people they are. Y'all don't want to call it because y'all have said to women, and speaking of Ashley Dalton once again, that anything that is not laudatory and kissing their ass is sexist. And so the women are always expecting for the society to throw the men under the bus, insult the men, belittle the men, demean the men, call the men sexist. And then maybe at the very margins, in the lightest way possible, teeny tiny, barely critique the women just a smidge and go right back, sandwich method, go right back to insulting the men. Huh? We can't tell the women anything. Not a nothing. And when you scale that to tens of millions of women, birthing age women, when you scale that, then women really believe they're infallible because the marketers have told them they're infallible. The politicians have told them they're infallible, at least in relationship to men and males and boys. Huh? The advertisers have told them they're infallible. The television shows and the movies have told them they're infallible. Huh? Or at least they're justified in their misbehavior. And that's if we even acknowledge it's misbehavior. Huh? Everyone's telling the women they're infallible, Ashley. So of course the women don't see nothing wrong with them tipping the scales at over 200 pounds. They don't see anything wrong with their attitude. They don't see anything wrong with them being whimsical, immature. Huh? Because first of all, who's telling them they're whimsical and immature? Who? Most of these women ain't listening to their elders. The society's not telling them, the teachers and the professors not telling them, the men are too afraid, and the women are encouraging them for the crap. So who's telling the ladies, well, we'll slow up? I don't know if that's going to be, if you're going to find that gratifying in the next couple of decades. I don't know, ladies. I don't know. Huh? Who's telling them that? Who's telling them they're average? However y'all ladies gonna say it, who's telling them they're average and they're gonna probably end up with an average man and there's nothing wrong with that? Who's saying that? Huh, Ashley? Continuing.
Stop telling women they should settle. I'm not telling women they should settle. If you are an average earning woman, which majority of women earn less than $80,000 a year, majority of women earn substantially less than $80,000 a year, only 10 to 15% of women in America earn over $100,000 a year, and you get with a man who is an average earner, that's not settling. That is not settling. That's normal people getting with normal people and building a life together and building wealth. That is a proven method. That works. That is not settling.
And to that young lady, I say, but the women have been convinced that the marriage is supposed to catapult them, not just bolster them, not just reassure them, not just make sure they don't fall through the floor into poverty. No. If they can get some type of facsimile of what they see on TV or on social media, then marry who? Long-term relationship with who? Where's the lifestyle? Where's the bags? Where's the trips? Where's the kids in some type of exclusive school? Huh? Where's the luxury car? Meanwhile, madam, you're still giving a smidge too much hope. You are correct that the majority of women, the vast majority, make less than 80, but the majority of men make less than 82. The majority of men make less than 82. The majority of men make less than $80,000 a year, and they will never make more than $80,000 a year in their lifetime. Ooh. The majority of people on planet Earth, the majority of Americans will never earn $100,000 in 1 year. Yes, that includes American men. A few years ago, it was 2/3 of men will never make more than $65,000 a year in their lifetime. 2/3 of men will never make more than that. Those numbers have shifted a little bit over the past few years, so let's say 70 now. 2/3 of men will never make more than $70,000 a year in their lifetime. So what the women are saying they're going to crowd around the top third. And remember, we're not talking about personality yet. We're not talking about height yet. We're not talking about looks yet. You want to know why the marriage rate is so low? To all the technocrats, stop letting the women hide behind feminist language. It's not, well, maybe, but it's not, it has nothing to do with men not being likable, unless likable mean where that money at. Continuing.
functionally all salary data in the United States is worthless for a few reasons. Ultra-high earners heavily skew national averages upwards, which is why the average salary in this country is $64,000 a year, despite the median being 43. But even that 43...
Huh? Average salary, 64,000. Median salary in America, 43,000. Huh. Dear Miss Ashley Dalton, the vast majority of Americans don't know that. The vast majority of people don't know that, especially the women, especially the black women. They don't know, nor do they care. All they know is they live on social media. And by the way, that's backed up by the numbers. Black women live on social media. They're the most social media privy on the planet. Well, at least in America. They live on social media, and all they're subscribed to is a bunch of lifestyle and luxury content and diesel dudes and whatever the hell and BBLs and bust down weaves and in minutes and hours and days and weeks and months and years and potentially a decade of that type of content. What does that do to the brain? What does that do to the mind? Huh? Dear Miss Ashley Dalton, dear the rest of us, dear women, dear black female elders, what does a decade of Instagram and lifestyle content do to the mind of women, namely black women? What does it do? Till the last egg. See, we're not talking about right now, we're not speaking about specifically the majority of black women that have their first child by the age of 24, 25 years old. We're talking about the rest of them. That other 25%, huh? And we're definitely talking about those of them that are waiting for something. They're waiting for the man and the lifestyle, huh? Yeah, these are the ones that's telling you they're not gonna settle, huh? These are the ones that use their college degree and think it's supposed to be a golden ticket, not to upward mobility, but to rich and wealthy. God forbid they got a master's. Oh boy, the PhD. I got about PhD. Shout out to Kevin Samuels, rest in peace. I got a PhD. Exactly. Huh? The women don't know, nor do they care. Median income in America, $43,000 a year. Huh? So whether it's the young lady, what's the name of the young lady again? It's Giving. What's her name again? I forgot her name. That recently got married. Whether it's her on tonight's conversations, whether it's other women, we can't, as the young lady said on that conversation between her and Sarah Fontenot. Yeah, Sarah Fontenot. I remember Sarah Fontenot. And as the short haircut young lady said, we can't even have a conversation about your average man. We damn near talking about $300,000 men. Because average men, in many respects, for these women, are invisible. Does that mean you literally invisible? No, that doesn't mean the ladies ain't gonna have some bedroom fun with you. That doesn't mean you don't get a long-term relationship. It doesn't necessarily mean you don't get married. It doesn't even necessarily mean you get divorced. It just means that it's super likely. You mess around and get married, she gonna divorce your ass. Now she gonna say, oh, it's because he don't clean up after himself. Oh, it's because of this. Oh, it's because of that. But really, it's the money. In other words, what's the incentive? As Real Talk with Yanni would say. Huh? As Real Talk with Yanni would say. Huh? So we're going to play Ashley Dalton again and get on our way. Mr. Z Ramen. Like, share, subscribe, hit the super chat. Continuing.
We're going to keep it real moving forward on this platform. We're not going to use flowery language moving forward anymore. If you coming up here telling me, I want provider, I want rich man, I want the men of all men. He has Spartan, I want him. We're not going to play delusional and come up here and say a little bit of lip gloss, a little bit of brows. I don't got to lose no weight. I don't have to do this. I can wear Crocs. My friend wore Crocs and a bonnet and sweatpants, and that was enough. We're not going to tell those lies anymore. Because when I go outside and I see you, that's not enough. When I go outside and I'm standing in front of you, it's easy to do that here online. When the camera's like this and the angle is good. And we got a little bit of filter on because I do too now, child. It's different. We all confident right here. But when we get off this phone and we're face to face, body to body, next to the person you say you want and deserve, man or woman, the math is not mathing. There's a lot we need to work on. And it extends far beyond looks, babe. This goes to the men and the women. I'm not just talking to my ladies. There's a lot of work that needs to be done. So all that flowery language that we have come up with over the last decade, inclusive, all-encompassing, all the girls, I don't know that. Growing up, and the reason I'm tough on you guys is because that's the era I grew up in. People were tough. They said it how it is. I'm not saying that was always right, but we got a lot further in life because of it. No one was lying to us. And that's the issue today. You're being lied to, and then when you step outside the door, guess what happens? I just landed in Miami. At the door, they ain't let me in. I'm sitting at the bar. No men are approaching me. Reality hits you, is what I'm saying. You're too black. You're not white enough. You're too white. You're too Spanish. You got a wig on. You got makeup on. You're too old. You're too short. The world is going to tell you. And a lot of you are not self-aware. You're not self-aware. It's like you're blind to who you are. So I think some of your homework needs to be, you know what? I need to go in the mirror and be completely honest with myself. Who am I? Where do I measure up in the world? Am I doing everything that I need to do? Am I on top of my goals? How can I improve my look? Am I a good friend, a good mother, a good wife, a good husband, a good girlfriend, a good boyfriend, a good single person? What are the things that I need to work on that I'm not working on? And I'm hiding behind excuses, food, sex, drugs, alcohol, social media. I'm just hiding. So you need to get honest with yourself. We're going into a new season, and this is the perfect season to all my ladies to get out there. All this level up content you've been watching from September until April, it's time to apply it. Because when we post, everybody say, oh, I'm that girl, I'm this. It's time to get out the house and put the phones down. You know everything there is to know about leveling up. You know everything there is to know. It's time to get out the house and apply the information.
Once again, Miss Ashley Dawn, the women are allowed to lie to themselves because investment banks like Morgan Stanley are salivating at the fact that 45% of women, not black women, of women are going to be single, potentially childless by 2030. They've been knowing about this since about 2017. I think that memo came out 2017, 2018, something like that. And they've been salivating. They know this is an investment bank. They don't just guess. No, they have millions, if not billions of dollars on the line to come up with accurate predictions. So everything is saying to the ladies, yeah, be single, because single women spend more money than married women. So everybody and everything is lying to the ladies and encouraging the ladies to go further and further into delusional land and blow money on little trinkets, on little things to make yourself feel better, and find your humanity and find yourself in products, in things, in experiences. And maybe when you wake up at 58 years old, then you'll realize, oh, that's hollow. Yeah, it was okay, but it was like fast food. It wasn't as edifying as I thought. It wasn't as fulfilling as I thought. Huh? Yeah. Huh? And then the ladies are encouraged with this weird old gender war talk and female empowerment talk. And like no one's checking them except for the men, and they're not listening to the men anyway.
And as a divorce lawyer, I can tell you that women are not divorcing men because they're bored or ungrateful. They're divorcing because they're tired of doing everything.
Tired of doing everything? That's the story women tell themselves. I've handled over 2,000 divorce cases. I've heard this exact narrative hundreds of times. Women don't file because they're doing everything. They file because they've been building a case in their head for years. She told her friends, told her therapist, told everyone except the one person who needed to hear it, him. By the time she files, she's already the victim in a story he didn't even know was being written.
The data tells us that the number one cause of divorce is money fights and money problems. And if we know that going in, then we need to, what? Avoid money fights and money problems. And what's that mean? It means we need to be aligned.
Huh. Once again, I said it, and y'all can go ahead and use this. Just give Z credit. Because of second wave feminism, women are going to use feminist language to describe their issues with men, when it actually is a capitalist problem. It is a money problem. It is an economic problem. The problem with ladies is, and they don't want to admit it, because it's going to sound real crazy. It's going to sound like they on the stroll. What is it going to sound like?
I feel like a lot of people have been raised by prostitutes.
Whoa. Where you
People.
going?
I ain't say women, I said people.
Where you going?
I'm gonna tell you why. Because who the fuck thinks about money when they date somebody or even talks to somebody?
Hey, brother.
I might ask you what you're doing in life to see what you do and get to know you better. I don't give a fuck what you making. That's not why I'm talking to you. Now, if you just a bum, now if I end up getting to know you and I find out you just a bum, then I don't want to talk to you. But I'm never pocket gauging. Say that.
Yeah, see, once again, this is what makes people start cringing. The ladies are using feminist language, but their issue with a man is economic one. And when you let the ladies talk and they tell you that, you just got to push them to be honest and stop hiding behind feminist language.
How old are you?
I'm 29.
Are you single?
Yes.
Why are you single right now?
Because the men are not enough rich to take care of me.
So you're looking for a rich man?
Yes. Yes, I want to be spoiled.
Why does he have to be rich?
Because I want to be spoiled. Because I make my own money and I need to be dominated.
Because I make my own money and I need to be dominated, ... financially. We know she want to be dominated that other way too, giggity. See, that's the part that our society don't really want to hear the women say. So we ask them questions. We're not really asking them questions. We make assumptions and we stop right before the line where the women say this part. I make my own money. He got to make more. He got to financially dominate me. I need to practice hypergamy. What's the point of me working my 40 hours, making my 60 grand a year, my 55, my 48,000, my 45,000, my 38,000, if I don't get to live off of him and his 80 and his 100 and his 150? See, nobody want to push the women to be honest. So we will take it when the women use feminist language. No, the problem with the men is they're not striving enough and they're not likable enough. And the men don't clean up after themselves and they don't take showers every day. And that's the problem. That's the problem with the men. The men want you to do your 40 hours and then come home and do another 40 hours. And so what does Scott Galloway say? Professor Galloway, and what does Dr. Richard Reeves say? What do they say? Oh, the problem is y'all are not making up. Okay, look, the women have caught up financially and y'all are not making up for it on the other end. You're not engaging in a relationship of where it's equitable. You're still too patriarchal, or at least you're trying to be. The problem is you're not making up for this by being emotionally intelligent and being attentive, right? And helping around the house and helping the kids out with homework. That's the problem, because that's the language the women are using until you put their back to the wall and they tell you, yeah, the problem is the money. Look, the problem is the money. The problem is he's not tall enough and good looking enough for me to put up with this crap. He don't earn enough for me to put up with this crap. I'd rather, if I'm going to have to do my 40 hours a week and then not get to live off of him and his 80 grand a year. If my 40 hours a week equal $43,000 a year, and I don't get to enjoy some of his $65,000, then what are we doing here? See, no one want to have that conversation with the ladies till the last egg. It is a combination of more and more working class and lower middle class. We're not even going to mention the working poor. Working class and lower middle class people being priced out of adulting, being priced out of adulthood. And so the ladies are pushing that first childbirth further and further back, but there's a culture developing behind that. And there are excuses and air quotes reasons now. Like, nobody's really saying, look, we didn't got priced out the game. The men might be saying it, the women don't want to say that, because the women have already been given the reasons, the excuses. And it pretty much speaks to inefficient men, erratic men, loser men, bum-ass men, sexist men, misogynistic men. You listen to the Gen Z women, that's all they saying. Very few of them actually say, okay, look, it's the money. Look, it's taking us too long. It's too much work. I got to work. He got to work. Look, then he doing overtime and the math ain't mathing. The numbers ain't numbering. It's not adding up. Millennial and Gen Z women, very few of them will go down that route. What they're going to tell you is character flaw in men. Huh? Till the last egg. That's when we Hail Mary, and you know what? Screw it. Let's have this kid. If we gotta have this kid out of wedlock, so be it. If not, let's try to hurry up and do this marriage thing. Have this kid, and then I'll be filing for divorce on you in about 2 to 3 years, maybe 4. We'll be divorced within 5 years. Uh-oh. Huh? Yeah. These are the conversations that make people cringe because no one wants to have an honest conversation of where we are and why we're here. As I said before, and shout out to Dr. Green Gorilla, I mentioned this how many times a year? For Mr. Z, one of Dr. Green Gorilla's most pivotal piece, where he mentioned how capitalism, particularly late stage capitalism, neoliberal capitalism, and feminism, and what that did to the family. And it wrecked it. Most of us, particularly in the Black community, but most of us were not insulated from the ravages of second wave feminism and neoliberal capitalism. Oh, it wrecked too many American families, particularly the Black ones. We weren't ready for that. Especially for Black people just coming out of Jim Crow, we weren't ready for that. Shredded the family. Shout out to Armiose Frimpong. Black people went from Jim Crow to neoliberal capitalism. Got kicked right from Jim Crow to neoliberal capitalism, and you were out there, shout out to Compassion and Callous, assed out to the market. No insulation. Assed out to the market. And you know the ladies win. Of course they did. Huh? Of course the ladies win. Ooh, look, life is a big ass shopping mall. I'm gonna try this, I'm gonna do this, I'm gonna try that, I'm gonna do this, and now the boomer women that are still alive are waking up out of their stupor. For some of them, the boomer women that are still alive are waking up out of a stupor in their 60s, and they're like, wait a minute. My daughter got how many kids out of wedlock? My son is LGBTQ. My grandsons are running amok. My granddaughter is out here on the carousel every other day. She talking about some new dude. My other grandson then spent how many years in prison? Huh? Yeah. No discipline. You did whatever you wanted to do, however you wanted to do it. You thought you were being slick and you thought you were doing something different. No. What's your body count? Oops. Yeah, boomer ladies and older exers, what that body count look like? Uh-oh. I don't want to tell. Huh? You tried everything. You did everything. You smoked out, tatted up. Not so much for the boomer women. Once you start getting to a certain age of exer women, uh-oh. Huh? We ain't even gonna mention the millennials. And here we are. Till the last egg. Shout out to those of us millennial men. Mid-40s now. Yeah, that phone gonna be ringing off the hook if it's not already. Yeah, the ladies don't want you to talk about it because they still trying to keep their pride. But they're starting to when they waking up, they're and it's not like we're not when we're waking up too. It's just that you got to go out there and get it, and no one's going to do for you. The ladies have always been envisioning and hoping that someone would do for them, but they were holding out hope for the most suitable suitor, the highest bidder. Now they I don't know how many years I got left of this. Huh? Now they sounding like Claudia Jordan in her 50s. I might have overlooked some good guys, and I might have, yeah, huh? To the last egg. Till the last egg. Continuing.
A lot of us ain't gonna end up with no husband because a lot of us have too much motion. Literally. We have too much motion and we have too much street smarts and just regular smarts in general. And it's just like the niggas these day and age who's on our level, who's also doing well, it's so many more women doing well than men that those specific men have the pick of the litter. Why would I settle down when there's 17 women who went to college, who gorgeous, and they will give me attention because it ain't that many niggas on my level doing the same thing. And I've experienced it. I've dated the bummest and I've dated the smartest. And it's just like, the bummest niggas is mean to you because they know they're not on your level. So they like, damn, this bitch is lowering her standards to deal with me. And yet, them knowing that, they say, you know what? Instead of me getting my shit together, I'm about to be a bitch to this girl. Because what the fuck she want to do with me? I'm about to be an asshole. I'm about to be mean. I'm about to neg her. I'm going to try to pick her apart. So therefore, yes, she may have all the surface level things, but let me break her down inside so we could be, bandmates and be at the same level at that point. Because to try to break down a bitch that you have a crush on means you really nasty on the inside and you very low in security and you just low in confidence. So you just trying to make somebody match your level. And the niggas that's doing well, they play with us because they like, oh yeah, girl, why would I have to settle with you when there's like 17? Just think about your whole class, mostly women. All of them, and if there's no men in class with us, and a few men that is in class with us, imagine all 15 of us trying to get the 2 niggas in class. Them 2 niggas is having a ball. They're having a ball. So it's just looking real slow for us. The dating market is bad because the niggas is bad. Hate to say it like that, but it's true.
Black and Latina women who never marry are the least wealthy in the U.S. This young lady is speaking as if there are more women, that includes in the black community, by the way, young lady, if anybody links her to this. Black men earn more than black women. Black men have more wealth than black women. There are more black men billionaires than black women. There are more black men millionaires than black women. There are more black men that earn over $100,000 a year than black women. As a matter of fact, $50,000 a year and up, there's a few 100,000 more black men. There are not more black women than black men in income bracket until you get under $50,000 a year. That's when black women start outnumbering black men for that particular income bracket. Under $50,000 a year. Over $50,000 a year, more black men by hundreds of thousands. But you say women got more motion. Where? Black men earn more, black men have more wealth. Black men employ more people. Black men still start more businesses. Don't let that title fool you. Black women are the fastest growing entrepreneurs. That does not mean that black women start more businesses than black men. That means that that means y'all speeding up and might be catching up. But it does not mean that black men don't start more businesses and black men have more viable businesses. Yikes. So where do the women got more motion? Where? Where's the motion? It sounds good. It sounds empowering. The mental gymnastics was astounding. The bum dudes treat upwardly mobile women, black women, like crap because they hate themselves and they're jealous and they want to bring the black women down to size, is what you're saying. Then the men that are in the same class of what you're speaking of, they know they have their pick of the litter, so they treat all the women like losers because they could choose whatever they want. Now that one, yeah, I could understand. But the mental gymnastics is astounding. Ma'am, just date women. Just date other women. Or go date white or non-black, whatever suits you. Whatever tickles your fancy. Pun intended. Huh? This is by the way, to the entire Black Manosphere, this is how these women rationalize their dating situation. And they never, once again, as Ashley Dawn's saying, They're not looking in the mirror. They're not getting on that scale. They're not being honest with themselves. Look, man, look, these men got access to Instagram too. And they know what pretty look like. They have their desires too. And I don't look up to par. And I'm overweight. And I got this attitude. And I was born in a certain class that I'm pretty much still in, even though I make a few more dollars than my parents did. And I'm not really outside mixing and mingling and trying to match up with certain guys. And if I did, once again, because of my weight and my attitude, they just gonna put me on the carousel. The ladies are not being honest with themselves, and their friends are not being honest with them, and their circle is not being honest with them. So they get to come up with all these cockamamie, weird ideas and notions. No, the problem is that too many of us women are in this class, and the bum dudes want to bring us down the size, and the men that are in our class, they don't want to settle because they got so many options. Huh? Yikes. And Earl says self-awareness, and this is what Ashley Dalton was speaking to, till the last egg. The women don't have to consider anything. As a matter of fact, even till the last egg, they're not encouraged to really think about what they're saying, what they're thinking and they're feeling that is in conflict with what the majority of men want and aspire. The ladies are actually encouraged by other women to give men the middle finger. It doesn't matter what you like. Your opinion means nothing. It's not unless she has the baby rabies or she's that lonely where now she got to consider it. It's not until then that the ladies are finally like, okay, fine. I'll consider what some of these men like and want. I might bend to a few of them. It's not until then. Huh? Say that, GC, and this is the situation for many of them. And GC says, air quotes, our class, and it's just a broad making $50K while drowning in student loan and credit card debt. Bro, if the median income in America is $43,000, let's say for college, let's say certain college educated women, we're gonna even say 40 hours a week, all of the good stuff. What is it, 60, 65? That's cool. That's not bad money. That's all right. That's all right. Not even all right. That's all right. Okay. You're still not balling. Cool. You get to every once a year, maybe twice a year, depending. You'll go on a little vacay for 4 days somewhere. Cool. Right? You get to pay for your Tesla Model 3, your little baby Benz, your little baby Beamer, your Audi. Cool. All right. You can maybe afford that condo by yourself. Definitely a nice apartment by yourself. Okay, that ain't, especially if you're careful with your finances and you're not doing too much. Okay, that's not bad. You don't live in a horrible part of town. You're making 65, 70. That's not bad. Okay. Huh? GC, notice I had to go up to 65 and 70 to make the math work because 50 is not enough. 50, she's still living at home with her peoples. Huh? 50, she living at home with her peoples or a cousin. They sharing an apartment, or one of her homegirls from high school or college. They sharing an apartment because she ain't pulling 50 by herself because the way she has to live at 50. Ain't no luxury. She ain't buying nothing at 50 if she trying to pull that apartment by herself. It ain't happening. So she gotta live with someone else. If she's single, she gonna have to live with someone else or live at home with 50. In 2026 economy, yeah, she ain't pulling that by herself because the level that she gonna have to live, especially as a college educated woman, she ain't gonna pull it. She gonna live at home. Maybe if she start making 65 and 70, maybe now she got her own apartment. Huh? And it's in an okay part of town. It may not be the ritziest. It's not one of those $3,000, $3,500 apartments. She might be pulling one of those $1,800 apartments. It's a little squeeze, but she still get to buy the things she wants. A few of them at least. She might be able to pull a vacation once a year, especially if it's with a dude and he paying or he's subsidizing. She'll pull a vacation once or twice a year. Once again, especially if she's being subsidized. Huh? Oh man. And No Hero says, Z, you should check out Psychhack's latest video. The same thing is happening in Denmark. Men get more money and will start a family. Women make more money and they get more selfish. I've said this for the past couple years. What does Women Unchained look like? Why do we assume that Women Unchained looks like them participating in community more, right? Investing in friends more, family more? How much of that is just coping? How much are when women start breaking through 45, and it depends, because if you've been dealing with Black American women, over 40 grand a year, they giving the middle finger. Crap, over 35, they start giving the middle finger if you're dealing with Black American women. You can't tell them what to do at goddamn 30 grand. Then you can't tell them what to do when they don't make no money. They unemployed. Goddamn. Okay, Z, stop joking, even though you're being serious. Anyway, Women Unchained, and when I say that, I'm not speaking about literally chaining them. When I'm saying women uninhibited, without the shaming, without the social obligations, without the script, right? Without the roles. How does female antisocial behavior, how does that present? What does that look like? What does it sound like? And then what does a certain class and income of woman, how does she move? What does she see as a burden? Does she see having a family as a burden? Because she doesn't get to be, air quotes, free? If you're dealing with women in their best years to have children, 20s and early 30s, if their best years to have children, okay, fine, we're not talking about teenagers. But if in their 20s and early 30s, these are the best years to have children, if they're saying, no, I want to be free, I'll worry about children after when I hit geriatric pregnancy is when I'm going to start worrying about children. 35 and if you don't catch me with the oops baby before the age of 24, 25, then for the next decade, I'm going to just be out here having fun. And then when I hit geriatric pregnancy, that's when I'm going to start being like, you know what? Maybe I should settle down. 35 and over. Maybe even 40 and over. Jesus. If that is the environment because the goddamn advertisers, capitalists, and marketers say, look, we got to get these women young and we got to get them spinning. We got to get them on this lifestyle and retail therapy cocaine. Shout out to Fat Joe that cook crack. Huh? We got to get them on this chasing after the bag, the literal bag, the Louis bag. We got to get them chasing the lifestyle. Single women spend more money. That's what Morgan Stanley says. Huh? And then when the ladies are later in life, once again, women in their 20s may not be having babies, but by 45, most probably will. Shout out to the CDC. Huh? Mr. Shook to you says 40. I've still got eggs in the freezer. Look, listen. So what we're dealing with is a confluence of things. All of this stuff is converging and it's ugly. It's a bunch of cars crashing in the intersection. Huh? It's a bunch of cars crashing in the intersection. It's a bunch of conflicting views crashing in the intersection. It is JD Vance crashing into AOC. Huh? It is. It's JD Vance crashing into AOC, crashing into Elon Musk, crashing into Peter Thiel, huh? Crashing into Oprah, huh? It's a bunch of these. There's all of these ideas crashing into each other, crashing into Jeff Bezos and Mark Zuckerberg, huh? And Curtis Yarvin, crashing into Pete Hegseth, pastor, the little racist prick, huh? Crashing into the white Christian nationalist, crashing into the black Baptist. It's just a confluence. Everybody, and then crashing into the Latinos and their concepts, crashing into the Asians, the East Asians, crashing into the South Asians, huh? Look, Earl, I'm so glad you said this, and this is what Mr. Z is saying. Thank you for simplifying it. And Earl says, abundance is necessary. Society needs to adjust to account for how humans react to that abundance. Exactly. And we have an idea because we've ran this experiment. Maybe not exactly on humans. Y'all know where Mr. Z is going. Like, share, subscribe, hit the super chat.
This is why everyone is single and men stop trying. This is the mouse paradise, a scientific experiment from the 1960s. They made the perfect world for mice with unlimited food, safety, and no predators. In the beginning, they placed 4 females and 4 males and let them multiply. The population exploded, hundreds, then thousands. Then something strange happened. They stopped mating. And within 4 years, they were extinct. But why? According to scientists, the reason was social interaction overload, just like humans on social media today. They were in 24/7 interaction with thousands of others. Too much stimulation, too much competition for social status, and this led them to lose the ability to form bonds, to mate and raise their young. Many males became so-called the beautiful ones. They lost interest in females. They just groomed themselves all day and withdrew completely because they could not compete in this chaos anymore. And the females followed by losing interest in males. So no mating, and they all just died without having babies. Since 2010 smartphones, humans are living the same social interaction overload, 24/7.
Huh? That hyper competitiveness for men to be desirable to women, and as you heard, this is the part that when you read through the comments for this, none of the women want to acknowledge this one very crucial part. They want to speak about, oh, the male mice started being erratic. But what you're missing, the very crucial part, is that the male mice, better yet, they refuse to engage in this hyper competitiveness. The masses of them refuse to engage in this hyper competitive environment to be appealing to the female mice. And that's why they were the first ones to become the beautiful ones. To just say, you know what, I'm gonna just groom myself all day. That's the part that none of the ladies, because that part becomes way too depressing, and it explains much of what's going on now in the human world. You read through the comments for this video, look, none of the ladies are running from that part. They running a million miles away from that part. You didn't mention the part, the experiment said that the reason why they died out is because it was the male mice. The male mice became erratic and they started being violent and harming the female mice. Okay, granted, that did happen in the experiment. What about the part of the other male mice becoming recluse and saying, yeah, see the way my million mind works, I'm never gonna be enough. I'm just gonna back out. I'm just gonna groom myself all day and be a beautiful one. Ladies, y'all got that? To you elite mice, male mice, y'all got that? Huh? Literally. And I'm Waffle says mice going their own way. Literally. Huh? Man. till the last egg. Till the last egg. So are we going to be living with children of men? If the ladies' hypergamy bar is going to move up infinitely, you have to appreciate the men will move accordingly by not moving. Elite men will get the vagina, the supremely good-looking men, the specimens, the high-income, high-earning, wealthy men, the men with some status. This is when white and tall and good-looking come in, or even some of you chisel chin black men or Asians or Latinos. Whether you have the money or not, or whether you known to be slanging and banging, pun intended. These are the people that's going to rack up. The rest of us are going to get in where we fit in, and the rest of everybody else, all the other men, is just going to be dry. Desert D. Huh? Yeah. Right, and it is funny. And Pastor OG says, Mel Mice got off dating apps, stop drinking, no speed dating, just waiting for Grand Theft Cheese 6. For real. Hey, and L's Active. I've seen a couple of exposés about him too. And L's Active says the clavicular guy, I know what you're talking about. The clavicular guy, rise to fame is a clear example of men caring more about beauty than mating. Yeah, at a certain scale, I do think that scales up. I don't want to overemphasize clavicular in his influence too much yet, but I do think that is a trend to stay paying attention to, not just for him, but because what it says about our environment. That, and it's not just him, it's Nick Fuentes, it's a number of these young millennial and Gen Z young men, and their cynicism, particularly the white young men, their cynicism and their response to the environment and to the women and girls. Right? And once again, shout out to KMS. The system is so toxic. There's so much pain in the system that the young men have come up to say, you know what? F it all. Throw morality out the window. What is even that? What is that even, right? I'm going for broke. I'm going straight for the money, straight for the looks and the physique. And to hell with all of it. Low key, I'm not even doing it for the women, not for an individual archetype of woman. I'm doing it so I could touch all of them whenever I want, however I want. I'm piling up money so I could do whatever I want, however I want. Not for any particular goal. These people are vapid. But we raised a generation or two or three of vapid people, increasingly every generation. Shallow and vapid. I just want to do what I want to do, however I want to do it, whenever I want to do it. And so if that means that I'm going to try to make myself as beautiful as humanly possible and as rich as humanly possible, that way people give me passes and that way I could pay my way through whatever faux pas, whatever issue. Oh yeah, that's what I'm going to be on. And here's the scary part, everyone. It's not even so much a conscious thought. The environment's pushing this. Ooh, goddamn. It's pushing it on the men and the women. We need to cut it out with the men and the red pill and the manosphere and the men content. No. To all you boomers and some of you silent who are no longer with us in your graves, you did this. You white ones mainly. You did this. And so everybody else has been just reacting to it. The Xers, the millennials, the Gen Z. Y'all know Mr. Z don't usually like generation banging. It's not really my thing. And I'm not even necessarily blaming the black boomers. because not many of them were in the banks and in the investment banks and in the halls of the advertisers and the marketers. Huh? They were not in the rooms with the product planners and the social designers and technocrats. Huh? Yeah. And if that's the environment, you have to appreciate less and less women are going to want to have kids, because if I can't have a designer baby, what am I doing? If I can't have a designer baby, put that designer baby in some super nice public school because the taxes, or some exclusive private school, or send them off to boarding school, then what am I doing? The baby is a it's a luxury bag, essentially. It's a luxury item. I get it. If you don't catch these women slipping, and I don't mean this in any kind of grapey way or any of that, but if you don't catch these women slipping with the oops baby by the age of 25, 24, then it ain't gonna happen. It's not. They either get married later and they have their kid in wedlock, or I'm talking about black women in specific here, or you out catch them somewhere in their mid-30s desperate. Mid-ish 30s desperate. And let's see how long your situation lasts. Whether it's a marriage or not, let's see how long it lasts. Huh? If we're in the era of situationship, yeah, about late 20s, early mid-30s, that's when she want to finally have a long-term situation. That's going to last a few years, whether it turn into marriage or not. That's going to last a few years. And then when she ready to go, she in that and she back in the streets. To the last egg. To the last egg. What y'all thought? Huh? But we're not done yet. So someone else reviewed this. I can't remember who, but I wanted to kind of put my spin on it also, because this young lady is from South Florida. Rest in peace, Kevin Samuels. Y'all should get an idea who I'm talking about. Kevin Samuels did interview her shortly before his passing, and she is from South Florida, so we're going to let her talk. But remember, homegirl used to be the plaything for white dudes. Her words, well, she didn't say it like that. She actually did. She was trying not to say it like that. But I live in South Florida, and I can tell you right now, women that look like this, Caribbean men, black men, they going. Especially the Caribbean men, they going for her all day, every day. You see a few of these women walking around South Florida, these little Asian black mixed women, and the Caribbean men and the black men in South Florida, they going. But every once in a while, you meet one of them, yeah, they might end up with a black man, but they really want a Latino or a white man. Not all of them, not most, but enough. Continuing.
Do you know what guy doesn't get enough credit? It's the one that sees you, wants you, would value you, but says to himself, I can't afford you. I'm not there yet. I'm not the man that you deserve. So I'm going to tell you, look, I see who you are. I see where you're headed. And you are the kind of woman I want to be with. But I'm not the man that I need to be yet. Therefore, I'm going to stay in this corner over here and wait to become the man that you deserve. I'm going to stack up. I'm going to get my mind right, my money right, my body right. And then I'm going to circle back and come to you. I love that type of man. He may be in your DMs. He may say it out loud. He's watching from the sidelines, waiting for the right opportunity, waiting to become the man that you deserve. Instead of saying, you shouldn't like that. You shouldn't go to, you shouldn't shop designer. You shouldn't go here. You shouldn't wear that. You need to change your taste. No. He says, I can't afford it yet, but I'm coming for you later. I love that type of man. He doesn't get enough love and respect because a lot of men also like to pretend that they got it when they know they don't. Or they'll be like, oh yeah, I got you for that. Meanwhile, they can't do nothing. I prefer a man who understands reality lives in reality, understands it, and says, look, I may not be there yet, but I'm on my way. And when I get there, I'm going to do my big one. Until then, I'm chilling.
First off, when she said wait, that was a Jamaican ass wait, the way she said it. Okay, let's acknowledge that. First. Second, madam, you talking about living in reality. We both from South Florida. Do you not know how this game go? No. You get older and then you're left for the older dudes. The men your age end up with your younger sister or cousin or daughter. Ooh, goddamn, see. The guys that you talking about that had to build themselves and not a pretty good by their late 30s, they early 40s, they dealing with a 32-year-old. He's 43, 44, dealing with a 32-year-old, and he wish he could go younger, but he's a little embarrassed. Oops. If you're talking about those type of dudes in South Florida, you're not talking about average guys in South Florida. You're talking about the guys that had to bust their ass and grind it out. They had to eat crow and eat crap. Oh, no, he's 43, 44, dealing with a 30-year-old, 32-year-old, 33-year-old. And you who's his same age, guess what? Now you got to deal with the 56-year-old. And you're going to pretend like you're okay with it. Huh? No offense to the 50-some-odd-year-old brothers. Yes, even with your looks. Are you not Caribbean? Am I not Caribbean? We know how this go. Cut it out. Y'all swear, y'all be putting on lip, man. Even a woman that look, I find her physically attractive. She's real pretty. She's real pretty. We have a bunch of these little running around, especially in that Miramar area. Miramar, West Miramar, Pines, huh? All up and down Broward in some part of Dade. But yeah, all up and down Broward County and some parts of West Palm also. You got a bunch of these little Caribbean, Asian black mix, Indian black mix, beautiful women. Huh? Some of them got their head on their shoulders, some of them don't. But you better but black men blow these women's heads all the way up. They delusional as hell. Huh? They're delusional as hell. Because when they walk in the room, we go to drooling. Oh my God. Oh, look. Oh my God. Asian black bitch. Huh? Delusion. You ain't seen delusion yet. Delusional as hell. Now to the white dude and the Latino dude, she's just another black woman. Huh? They don't know the difference between her and the Filipina. She'd be like, no, I'm Asian black mixing up from the Caribbean. I'm Jamaican. I'm this, I'm that. And or the white dude be like, oh, okay, whatever. Come here, come suck this, and then get on your way. Huh? Yeah. Madam, you're from South Florida. I'm from South Florida. I'm from Dade County too, actually. Born and raised. Shout out to Trick Daddy. Madam, we know how this go. The white dudes, the Latino dudes, the black men with some dollars. When they 40-something, they are not messing with a 40-something-year-old young lady. When they 38 and 39 and 40 and 42 and they had to grind it out since they were 18, and they finally make it 85, 90, 95, 100, 120, 150. They might spin the block to knock you off a memory. But marriage and long-term relationship and God forbid trying to have a kid with you, no, you're going to try to get pregnant from them. Try to baby trap them, but no, that ain't going to be on purpose. Cut it out. Maybe for exceptional, really good-looking women like you, maybe. So you could be delusional and sell that to other women. But other women your age, when you're going to be 40-something, that's not going to happen to them. Nope, cut it out. I'm telling you what's going to happen, and you've been witness to it. You may not want to count it, but the 42 and 43 and 38-year-olds, 45, they're not trying to mess with no 45-year-old woman. They're going to go down to the 33s. If he's 43 and he making 120, 150, crap, 95. If he's 43, well, maybe you deal with a 35-year-old, maybe a 32-year-old. But he's not going to be dealing with another 45. You know what she is, the other 45-year-old? That's something he slide on after work some days. Huh? And the Arena Revive says exoticals. That's what she is. That's what she is. She cute enough. She cute. I remember her from that Kevin Samuels interview. She cute. I didn't see some other stuff from her. Speak about the racism in South Florida. Yeah. Even for women like her, they got to deal with it sometimes. Yeah, the racism in South Florida. Yeah, it's Latino as hell. And the Latinos be doing black people something dirty, especially the Cubans. You got Cubans who rock with black people. They might even got a black baby mama. They might even have a black wife. Dark-skinned black wife, too. Some of the Cuban dudes. Don't get it twisted. Some of these Cuban dudes done pipe 2, 3, 7, 8 black women in their life, and they still anti-black as hell. Their wife is Latina, light skin or white or mestiza Latina, but their first kid is mixed because they done knocked off a black woman in their early 20s and she got pregnant, and you better believe she kept the baby. Oops. Huh? Their first child is from a dark-skinned black woman, probably Haitian or Black American, maybe Jamaican or Bahamian, maybe. Huh? From the USVI, possibly. Oh, see, you telling Dade County and Broward County secrets. Definitely Dade County secrets. Huh? Yeah. This lady, she know what I'm talking about. She was born and raised in the Tri-County area, particularly Dade County. She know I just described a bunch of women either she know or she know of. Huh? They didn't have their little situation with the Latino dudes. Ain't no wedding ring in sight. Oops. They didn't have their situation with the small hat dudes. Ain't no ring in sight. Yikes. They didn't have their situation with white bread Brad. Ain't no ring in sight. Oh, now maybe one or two of her homegirls do, but not all the ones that ever did anything with a non-black man. Not even half of them. And by the way, that's a cross class. Oops. I just want her to tell me I'm wrong. Huh? Yeah. So all that, I like me a man that essentially know his place. He know he not on my level, and he gonna come back for me when he hit once again. This is Rollo Tomasi, everyone. Women ain't running the race with you. They not building with you. They waiting at the finish line for the winners. But here's what no one's saying to those ladies. Increasingly, the men are not giving you the gold prize. The men are looking for the younger you. They're like, why would I do that? Women like you gave me your ass to kiss when I was building. You told me how much I wasn't on your level. Women, you and other women like you. I'm not messing with you. I'm gonna go give this to a younger chick. And yeah, she might have did the same thing to me if she was your age, but I don't know if so. Here we go. Talking about that. Like, share, subscribe, hit the super chat. That's the part that nobody want to admit. Dear madam, wait for, and then this speaks to our topic once again, to the last egg. Women in their 20s may not be having babies, but by 45 most probably will. Yeah. Going back to the video, I like me a man who know that he's not on my level yet, but you know he gonna spin the block and cut it out. Nobody's trying to have on purpose, unless we were married and we struggle to have children, or this is our third kid. No one's trying to have kids with some 40-something-year-old woman. Huh? What were you doing for the first 40 years of your life? Okay, ladies, let's call a thing a thing. Let's just sit down and say it. Y'all don't appreciate how disrespectful y'all being to men, huh? Or y'all don't care. That's really what it is. Screw you not appreciating it. You don't care. You don't care enough to appreciate it. You imagine a woman telling you, I lived my life, and now that I'm 40 and 41 and 42, I am finally ready to sit down and be a mother and a wife at 42 and 43 years old. Now, I didn't even have no oops babies in my 20s and my 30s. I've explored and had experiences, and I done had, if we're going to be kind and generous, 8, 9 or partners already, 10, 12 partners, 15 partners, 20 partners. And finally, I'll take you on, and I'll be your wife. Huh? And you'll be my 16th. Okay, Z, stop being so mean. Okay, you'll be my 9th. Huh? If we really gonna call it, you'll be my 28th, but 50th. Anyway. Huh? You think y'all gonna have a bond? If we're being nice and generous, she's meeting you at 43 years old, bro. Or y'all having y'all first kid, she's 42, 43, and it was a struggle to have that kid. You think y'all gonna last? She already had how many long-term relationships? How many situationships? You're her 12th guy, her 9th, her 8th, her 15th, her 23rd. You think y'all gonna last? Man, she out the door before that baby started walking. Cut it out. She might be out the door when that baby's still in her belly. Huh? And Line says they know they don't care, and that's cool. Leave them on the lot. Say that. I am Waffle says cough cough. Kenya Moore. Live their life, have those experiences, and by the way, nothing wrong with that for the 1 or 2 women, but this is scaling. This is scaling. Once again to the last egg. And that's why I played that young lady. Ooh, I like me a man that. So what you doing when he over here building himself? So you just celibate? Come on, cut it out. You in the streets, you having fun. You're having fun. You're not tucked away. Even if you were, but okay, fine. You're not tucked away. You're not air quotes preserving yourself. No, you out here enjoying your life. And he's supposed to come back at what, 42, 43, 45? And do what? Huh? And do what? Y'all don't even appreciate how insulting that is. Now, if you're talking about you have kids and he have kids and y'all find each other attractive and y'all just gonna chill and be companions, and he's 48 and you're 43, okay. Cool, okay. You 45 and he's 52, and your youngest just turned 18, cool, okay. But you trying to start this family you gonna blow it up in less than 5 years? You trying to start the family at 43? Wait, what? You trying to start the family at 42, 40, 41 years old? Even 39, 38. You trying to start the family at 39? Okay, people. All right. Huh? Good point, Line. And Line says, Z, these older women aren't even in shape. They don't need to be in them because somebody gon' pipe. Somebody, look, we have to be honest. Most men are not part of no manosphere or no black manosphere. And especially if she going through menopause or she went through menopause, she don't got the itchy scratchy. You don't know you didn't go get tested. No, did she? Oops. Mr. Z not supposed to be splitting the secrets. Yeah, that's easy. You can pipe and you don't got to worry about getting her pregnant. Oh, you definitely. But look, man. And she enthusiastic about it because ain't not many dudes checking for her like that anyway. Huh? It's okay, fine. Lion will be a brother, not you, Lion, but it'll be a brother like you. They in the gym, they fit, and she easy. It's a sport. It don't even matter how rotund she is. She easy. She there. That you know who she's your co-worker that's not ugly. She a little round. She got a cute enough face. You 37. You going through a little dry period. She's 43. She a little rotund, but she got a cute enough face. And she already going through menopause. You go knock it off. Cut it out, Lion. Maybe not you, but you know a lot of brothers, some of them that you work out with, they gonna do it. They gonna do it. Lion said, I can't do it. I'm not talking about you in particular. I'm saying some of them dudes you work out with, they gonna do it. Huh? Especially a brother, God forbid it's a non-black woman. A little cute Latina, little cute face, little pudgy Latina, little cute face, pudgy white girl. And she enthusiastic. Oh, they going, but that's easy. That's a situationship for the next 9 months. An easy little slide through. That's an easy little slide through. She call you when she need an itch scratch. You call her when you need an itch scratched for 9 months, a year, maybe even a year and a half. That's what y'all do. The most you're ever gonna do is take her to a little taqueria. The most you might take her to the movies once or twice in that year and a half, if she lucky. Huh? If she lucky. Y'all go out for drinks if she lucky. And then you go back to her place or she come back to your place and you knock it off and you send her on her way. Lion says, you're right, someone will. Lion, most dudes will. Most men will, white, black, Latino, Asian, or otherwise. Especially the brothers that got certain looks to them, certain height to them. That's easy. Them brothers juggling 2 and 3 and 4 of them type of women. The men I'm speaking about, they're juggling 2, 3, 4 of them type of women. Whether the women know or not is inconsequential. He don't care if you know. You feel resentful, you feel angry, you gonna leave, he just gonna replace you with another one. He got 2, 3 waiting. Huh? You sound like Coach Greg Adams. And Starman says, Torta's getting piped out here. Look, they are. And she giving you the meanest gog. What? Come on, cut it out, y'all. Need I remind everybody I'm from South Florida? I know the game. Mr. Z might not be in the game, but I know the game. We know what it is out here. She fantasizing about it, man. Come on, man. That's easy. That's light work. He don't got to put no real effort. Smidge of charisma. And I'm speaking about the brothers in particular, but even the fit white dudes. A smidge of charisma. He be piping within the end of the week, bro. If even. Definitely within 2 weeks. Too easy. Too easy. And I'm speaking about even the brothers me 5'9" fit. God forbid you 6'3", you lying out here? 6'3", oh, easy. Too easy. A little Latina, a little 5'2" Latina. Huh? Her and her boyfriend or her and her husband are on the rocks. Her and her husband, or even her and her husband, and they separated. They don't even live together. They haven't lived together in 2, 3 years. Oh man, that's too easy. Look, we have a bunch of those in South Florida. They still married on paper, but they haven't lived together in 4 or 5 years. Oh, that's too easy. Oh, that's too easy. You know how many Latinas in particular I just described? Some black women, some black Caribbean women. You know how many Jamaican women and Haitian women I just described? They're still married on paper, but they haven't lived with the husband in 6 years, 5 years. You know how many Latinas, especially I just described? Not so much white women, but you know how many Latinas I just... Anybody from the Tri-County area in South Florida, tell Lion how many Latinas I just described. Yeah, you might want to be a bit careful because technically they still married. But the husband, I'm gonna be honest with you, the husband don't care, bro. He might care because you black, but he really don't care. He really don't care. Because he got his own thing going too. Huh? Saint Cyr said the Boxy joints. The Boxy joints is definitely going. Gawk gawk out the gate, gawk gawk. They going. Huh? And so let me get this right. The men are supposed to be building and doing this, and you're gonna be out here having fun. No, the men gonna be out here having fun, and he only gonna spin the block when he get his money right and his stats right, just to knock you off of memory. It is not gonna be no relationship. Cut it out. Whether he tell you that or not, it's up to you to figure out. But it ain't gonna be no relationship. Huh? So I just wanted to emphasize this till the last egg. These women are playing a very dangerous game with their own legacy. The women act like they don't care about legacy. It's just the men. Cut it out. I got another clip where the lady is saying, of course the men want to have children because he's boring. He don't do anything. You the one with all this and you the one with all that. And of course the men and all that sound good. Oh, it sound good. Huh? Y'all gives you a second. All right, you got it. You got it. All right. Okay. Yep. But yeah. Yeah. The women, so y'all don't want to have kids no more? Oh, it's too much of a burden. Okay. Look, as I said before, that's why I keep this article up ready. A disproportionate number of black women are kinless as they age. Advocates say, I said growing, I'm sorry. A disproportionate number of black women are kinless as they age. Advocates say they deserve a social safety net too. All right, ladies. All right. To all women, particularly the black women, y'all playing a very dangerous game with your future. It sound good. It sound good when you gonna lean on community and lean on network and lean on homegirls and girlfriends until you remember how many of y'all and how close our circle get as we age, and how many of y'all are gonna be 60 something at the same time. Who helping who? How? Huh? Yeah. Line says we got 40-year-old chicks talking about retirement. Look, I am convinced that women aren't built to be working until they goddamn 60s, especially not anything where they typing all day or they sitting down, or even the ones that sitting down in the cubicle all day. Carpal tunnel and all. And we're not even going to mention hard labor and manual labor, even though that it breaks the men after too long. Let alone women. Women ain't cut it out. Cut it out. The problem with much of the conversation that we've been having across the planet over the past, give or take 60, 70 years, is we haven't been honest about the limitations of women and men. Women. And so we told her, anything you can do, I can do better. And the women said, yeah, you right. And they're eating the cost. Whether it's boss girl feminism, whether it's I can have as many bodies as he has. Huh? I could do what he could do. And when we see the women run into that wall of what it costs them, and the way other people see them, and the way they see themselves, and their physique, and their physique, in their own bodies, the fact that they can't have children after a certain point. First, it just becomes super difficult, and then it becomes impossible. We at the point where we can't even tell the ladies geriatric pregnancy. We can't even call it what it is because it's going to hurt their feelings. We at the point where we can't even the women, just to make themselves feel better, they try to jab at the men. See, as y'all age, y'all increase the genetic defects of the children. See, y'all age out the game too. It's gotten so bad that this is as far, the women are going this far to make themselves feel better about aging out the game. See, you're talking about men with genetic defects after a certain point, at a certain age. No, you can't have children, period. After a certain age, it's done. Shops closed permanently. And to make yourselves feel a little bit better, you go mock and make fun of the women. The men, you see, the men are the ones who, look, you better have kids soon. It's so lame. Huh? It's so lame. It's insanely lame and corny. And Inu says, and thank you for the super chat. Like, share, subscribe, hit the super chat. Inu says, celibate equals still a virgin. They not that, right? No, virgin equals still a virgin, right? Celibate mean they ain't piping no more or right now, right? We ain't talking about virgin chicks. You're right about that. The women are definitely not virgins. Not in majority, not even close. Some of them go through their celibate journey, whether they caught too many bodies, whether they got their heart broken by the love of their life, and now they throwing a temper tantrum. Now they want to take the vagina off the table. Now they gonna tell you I have to reevaluate whatever. No. You got your heart broken by your archetype, your dream guy. He broke your heart, or you broke your own heart. And then you took your vagina off the table for how many years, months, how many years? But yeah, that's what the celibate thing be more often than not. They caught too many bodies. They finally sat down one day. It was like, oh my God. Huh? Oh, yeah. Inu says abstinence. Yeah. Huh? Oh, man. And this is true, Lion. And Lion says, men are cool with the average because most people are average. It's the women who are average themselves but can't accept being average. Yes, because the problem that we have is that the technocrats and the feminists didn't tell women that what comes with equality is the end of hypergamy. For the masses of women, that's it for hypergamy. You can't be equal and special at the same time. You can't be equal and want to practice upward mobility by marrying upwards, by dating upwards at the same time. It don't work that way, especially at this particular junction in society, where you have class calcifying. That ain't the math. Ain't math. It ain't gonna work that way. And the women are throwing a fit. The women and whether it's FD signifier, conscious, they just refuse to acknowledge this is not a handful of women. This is not a handful of black women Mr. Z is describing. This is the majority of women, majority of black women. I don't care if they're using feminist language. Press them, put their back to the wall, and make them tell you the truth. And you know what it's gonna look like, Mr. Z. You're gonna play that damn clip again, aren't you? You damn right.
How old are you?
I'm 29.
Are you single?
Yes.
Why are you single right now?
Because the men are not enough rich to take care of me.
So you're looking for a rich man?
Yes, I want to be spoiled.
Why does he have to be rich?
Because I want to be spoiled. Because I make my own money and I need to be dominated.
Till the last egg. They on this type of time till the last egg. Not for all. Most of them are gonna get their little marriage in, have their little oops baby, maybe. Mr. Z Ramen, have their little oops baby, maybe. Be married for their little 5, 8, 10, 12 years and then divorce. That's how it's gonna go. Number one reason for divorce is money.
The data tells us that the number one cause of divorce is money fights and money problems. And if we know that going in, then we need to, what? Avoid money fights and money problems. And what's that mean? It means we need to be aligned.
And remember, women file, once again, correlation doesn't equal causation. That's the cause. But women file for 70% of divorces, 90% if they're college educated. It's the money. I don't care if she's telling you, no, he didn't clean up around the house, and no, he didn't do. Cut it out. She's using feminist language. It's not that. It's the money. Huh? Yeah. And Mackie says, just a few brothers are professional athletes or rappers or any type of big money. You don't necessarily have to be an entertainer. I get what you're saying. But most brothers are not building multi-million-dollar businesses to provide an affluent lifestyle for a baddie life. Um, Jessica Wong, yeah, that's her name. You're right. It is scarce. Yeah, look, man, when you look like that and you probably have you done probably maybe piped a athlete or so, or got piped by an athlete or so. An entertainer here and there, it has distorted your mind. She lives in an alternate reality with her looks what her looks, and I think she went to I think that's what she told Kevin. She went to a school down here, if I'm not mistaken. But yeah, with her looks, assuming education, her looks has given her the ability to have access to certain type of men. She's still young enough. Last time I checked, I'm not 100% sure, but still, look. So women like this have just a distorted view of reality. It's just distorted. Huh? And Eric Dedman says, say that. And Eric Dedman says, someone tell Dave Ramsey that there will always be money fights with modern women. Of course. Of course. Agree with you 100% on that one. But once again, Jessica Wong, she delusional. Median income in America is 43,000. Median salary is 43,000. Average salary is 64,000 in America. What we're saying, but we're too cowardly to say, is to tell working class men, lower middle class men, working poor men, you don't get that. That's not for you. If you lucky, you get the slop after a certain type of men are done with it. Y'all don't want to say it because y'all don't want buildings to burn. But that's what it is. That is what the society and the women are saying. You get her when she's overweight and old. You get her after the first 1 or 2 kids. That's when you get her. Or you could get her without all of that, but she ain't going to be desirable worth a damn. You could get her fresh out the box, mid-20s. Z, that's not fresh out the box. Y'all heard what Mr. Z said. You could get her fresh out the box, but you ain't going to like her too much. Huh? Man. Exactly. I mispronounced it earlier. Yeah. And Saint Cyr says, Z done turned Dave Ramsey into a Middle Eastern man. Laughing my butt off. Dave Ramsey. Yeah. Right. Else Active says, you get her after she sullied herself. You hear me? That's exactly what I'm saying. And that's because that's what the society and the women are saying. I'm going to go try my hand. Look, I think I'm better than you. And I'm going to go try and exercise my options outside of you, Mr. Average Man. I know I'm an average woman, but I'm going to go try and to go win the lottery outside over there with those guys over there. And I'm going to try to do my single thing. And damn it, I can't pull it. And I couldn't keep that dude. Okay, I guess I'll sign up to whatever the hell you saying. And they still not really signing up to what you're saying. What you don't realize is you still renting her for the next how many long until she decides to blow that up. Huh? And Leon says, Z, I did the math. If someone makes around 60K after deductions and health insurance and 401k, they make 43. So they take home pay is 43-ish. Look, that's enough for black women to give you the middle finger. Like I said, black women will give you the middle finger, broke and poor as hell. What does their freedom cost and their autonomy cost and their agency cost? Well, it costs them everything. Right? And that's why you see a certain demographic of black men, young and old, they see black women struggling and they're indifferent. They're not celebratory. but they're indifferent because how did you get there? Yes, we're black. Yes, we are black. Yes, we appreciate how corrupt the system is and how anti-black the system is. But how many fingers did you bite? Not even just of black men, by the way. How many other black women's fingers did you bite? We know you bit a couple of black men's fingers. How many fingers did you bite? How many middle fingers did you put up, particularly to the black men? So when we see black women going through it, we know if a black woman is really, really going through it, we know she done torched so much. All that community, she done torched the community, her friend circle, her network. She done bit too many fingers concerning men, black men. Yeah. Ainu says, yeah, 45 gross is 35K take home. So you see? And Florida, I did the math once, and I think 100 was like 70 some odd take home. And that's not including the insurance and everything. That was just after taxes. I can't remember, it's like 76 or something like that take home. That's not with all the other deductions. So really, it probably is more like 70 or 73 or 72 take home. Huh? Say that. Getmo, I think you meant to say the other way. Let me know. And and Getmo says, "Do you understand that men never forget that you were their second choice, or are you saying that men never forget that they were your second choice?" Is that what you meant to say, or or did you mean to say it the way you said it? Right? Because yeah, look, ladies, you don't owe the men anything. You don't owe the men. I'm talking about regular working class men, average men, because you're an average woman. You don't owe the men not risking it outside with the taller dudes and the more good looking dudes and the dudes with more money and status and the white guys or whatever. I'm talking to black women in specific. You don't owe them in that. But here's the thing. When life kicks you in the ass, the men don't owe you. They don't owe you consideration. Not that we 43 and 45 years old. Huh? To the last egg. So go and have your oops baby with whoever you're gonna have it with, and then y'all gonna break up eventually. More likely, especially if you're a black woman, sooner rather than later. Later, excuse me, sooner rather than later. And well, huh? So yeah. So on that note, y'all, look, Mr. Zine trying to keep y'all here forever, endeavor. All right. Definitely want to come to y'all with this. And like Leon said, 43,000 for 60. And most black women not making that. And even if you are making 60 in a major city, in America, depending on the city, after life then hits you a couple of times and y'all still want to practice some level of consumerism and you don't want to go on vacation to get away from the mess that is your life, what y'all really playing with at the end of the year every year? Huh? What are you really playing with at the end of the year every year? Oh yeah, some of us were their second choice. Yeah, right. And all hair Balamucci, also known as Pistol Pete, also known as Vincent Von Doom, says, sign up for that membership, y'all. Donate to send a Haitian man to college. Hysterical. Like, share, subscribe, hit the super chat. Hysterical. Right? No, they're really doing that, though. They're really doing that. And St. Cyr says, putting their vacation on a firm in Klarna. Look, St. Cyr, they're really doing that. I'm gonna have to play the video. I might do a stream tonight. No, 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 no. I'm not gonna do a stream tonight. Ooh, when can I pull that stream? Maybe tomorrow? Maybe. But yeah, and I'll play the video of the young lady saying, "Oh, we're the ones who yeah, his life is boring, and then of course you want to have kids because da 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 da." And it sound good, but you're putting your vacation on a firm in Klarna, huh? You're putting your consumer goods on a firm in Klarna. You can't afford your life. You can't afford this stuff you doing. Once again, right? They're actually really doing that though. Elle says, "LOL, that's crazy." They're really putting these vacations, these $1,500, $2,000 vacations, $3,000 vacation. They're putting on a firm in Klarna, right? That's how important experiences are. It's insane. Y'all gives you a second. That background. Yep, yep, yep. Huh? So yeah, look, I just wanted to come to y'all with this. Till the last egg, as I said, till the last egg. The ladies sound insane till the last egg. When it's about that time, then it's all hands on deck. Find someone to inseminate me. I'ma play nice. I'ma play like we got this situation going. I'ma be here. I'm not. I'm not. The ladies are not gonna be there, y'all. She out the door once she get a chance. Skirt gone with your baby. And more men ain't signing up for that either. Look, ladies, I get it. Y'all don't want to have kids. Y'all not gonna have kids. That's cool because the men don't want to have kids with you either. If it's a gender war, let it be a gender war. Let the elites have the kids the natural way, huh? Have the families, the nuclear families, more than likely stay married, and the rest of us freestyle, huh? Okay, then I'll try to do a stream tomorrow. Then Line and Line says, "Damn, I wanted to come up and speak on these 40-year-old women playing until the bottom of the night." Look, man, they want to enjoy their lifeline. They want to enjoy their life. They want to enjoy their life, bro. That's what it is. It, you know, it's just a different world. Some of our mothers, definitely our grandmothers, they wanted to be mothers. They wanted to be mothers. The experiences were cool if it happened. It wasn't the end of the world if they didn't get to go to whatever dream place. These women, on the other hand, it's literally the complete opposite. The family and the kids is cool if it happens, but these spots I done seen on Instagram and how the dress that homegirl had, or the bag that homegirl rocked, or the shoes that homegirl had, celebrity, whoever the hell, I need that bag, I need those shoes, I need to be on that trip. Yeah, I need to drink that wine. Huh? So for them, it's the complete opposite. The kids and the husband is cool if it happened, but that experience and me being able to brag and me being able to take that picture and post it on Instagram also, yeah, that is far more important than bringing a child in this world and I'm going to have to be responsible for that child for the rest of my life. Not until 18, cut it out. That's not how parenthood works. I'm going to be responsible for that child for the rest of my life. Yeah. I might sign up for that when I'm like 40 something, late 30s. Once again, we're not speaking about all the women because we already know what the numbers say. All right? We know what the numbers say. Man. Yeah. And Els Active says Klarna been saying they ain't getting their money. Yeah. And there's people, but there's women bragging on the internet about not paying. It's the same thing with student loan debt. 2/3 of it, give or take, it's women. And we know black women are more in debt than everyone else. when it comes to student loan debt for the college educated ones. They take the longest to pay it off. They're the ones that are more likely to not be paying it. Ask for forbearance and all. Look, we're black. We know what it is. Hey, times are real, especially right now. We know, but something got to give, ladies. Something got to give. And on that note, y'all, we'll pause right there. Right, we'll pause right there. To the last egg. Y'all already heard Mr. Z. To the last egg. And we'll play Ashley Dalton one more again. And we'll end out for those of you who didn't see the clip in the beginning. So we'll pause right here. Love Piece of Chicken Grease. Y'all go check out other Black Manosphere content, other non-Manosphere content, for the love of God. Hype button, please. Thank you button for the replay game, right? Cash App, you know. And we will truly pause right here and shout out to Ashley Dawn. We'll end out with Ashley Dawn. All right, y'all. Y'all have a great rest of y'all day. Mr. Z out.
We're going to keep it real moving forward on this platform. We're not going to use flowery language moving forward anymore. If you coming up here telling me I want provider, I want rich man, I want the men of all men. He has Spartan. I want him. We're not going to play delusional and come up here and say a little bit of lip gloss, a little bit of brows. I don't got to lose no weight. I don't have to do this. I can wear Crocs. My friend wore Crocs in a bonnet and sweatpants, and that was enough. We're not going to tell those lies anymore. Because when I go outside and I see you, that's not enough. When I go outside and I'm standing in front of you, it's easy to do that here online. When the camera's like this and the angle is good. And we got a little bit of filter on because I do too now, child. It's different. We all confident right here. But when we get off this phone and we're face to face, body to body, next to the person you say you want and deserve, man or woman, the math is not mathing. There's a lot we need to work on. And it extends far beyond looks, babe. This goes to the men and the women. I'm not just talking to my ladies. There's a lot of work that needs to be done. So all that flowery language that we have come up with over the last decade, inclusive, all-encompassing, all the girls, I don't know that. Growing up, and the reason I'm tough on you guys is because that's the era I grew up in. People were tough. They said it how it is. I'm not saying that was always right, but we got a lot further in life because of it. No one was lying to us. And that's the issue today. You're being lied to, and then when you step outside the door, guess what happens? I just landed in Miami. At the door, they ain't let me in. I'm sitting at the bar. No men are approaching me. Reality hits you, is what I'm saying. You're too black. You're not white enough. You're too white. You're too Spanish. You got a wig on. You got makeup on. You're too old. You're too short. The world is going to tell you. And a lot of you are not self-aware. You're not self-aware. It's like you're blind to who you are. So I think some of your homework needs to be, you know what? I need to go in the mirror and be completely honest with myself. Who am I? Where do I measure up in the world? Am I doing everything that I need to do? Am I on top of my goals? How can I improve my look? Am I a good friend, a good mother, a good wife, a good husband, a good girlfriend, a good boyfriend, a good single person? What are the things that I need to work on that I'm not working on? And I'm hiding behind excuses, food, sex, drugs, alcohol, social media. I'm just hiding. So you need to get honest with yourself. We're going into a new season, and this is the perfect season to all my ladies to get out there. All this level up content you've been watching from September until April, it's time to apply it. Because when we post, everybody say, oh, I'm that girl, I'm this. It's time to get out the house and put the phones down. You know everything there is to know about leveling up. You know everything there is to know. It's time to get out the house and apply the information.
You are now listening to Mr. Z Blackneffect.